Gee, is that a GTR? No. It's even better. Alright guys, today we're going to be working on the Ford F-150. So I'm going to be trying to make a Mustang exhaust work on it. Don't know how well that's going to go because this is four-wheel drive, of course, and it's a truck. But I have some Mustang exhaust laying around. Try and see if it'll work on my truck because it needs an exhaust really bad. So hope you guys like watching this. I see you guys liked watching my recent Fox body upload because it's blown up for some reason. I don't know why. It's not my greatest video, but I appreciate you guys for doing that, or for watching. So, here we go. Alright, so here's the exhaust that I'm going to be trying to put on my F-150. It's supposed to be for an automatic 95 GT. I'm going to let this truck sit a little bit longer because I just got done driving it here. We'll let her cool down a little bit. Alright, so I decided, since I was waiting for the truck to cool off, that I would see how clean the air filter was, because I've never checked it on this truck. And come to find out, I didn't know that this line from the oil fill neck went to the air filter case, and so that means any oil that comes up that tube goes right into the air filter, and this is what I see. Could be part of why the power is down on this truck and it smells like it's burning oil sometimes. But the burning oil smell is also from my oil leak from the oil pressure sending unit and my valve cover gaskets. Both those are leaking just a little bit. But I was also concerned at the actual, you guys can't see in there. Here. No, you guys still can't see. The oil in this tube is milky and gross looking. I don't really like that. Usually milky oil means coolant, which means head gaskets. And I also noticed that my coolant reservoir is empty. And I can stick my finger in this in the top of the radiator here and not feel any water. I haven't shined a light down there yet, but this is not looking good. Let's see. Okay, so there is some coolant in there, just not enough. You guys aren't going to be able to see in there. Okay, whatever. So that's a little worrisome. I'm going to check the oil here in a minute and see what I see. So. It is a little low, but that's kind of to be expected with an oil leak. But it is not milky, so that is good. I think it's just a something to do with that tube on the actual air filter housing. Alright, so this truck has been having an issue where if you start it when it's hot, the idle surges and sometimes it dies. And also cranking, it cranks really hard, but I think this battery's junk, and I think that this cable is junk or the starter cable is junk. Either way, I mean, this cable doesn't look very good once you go down there, but you can see that there's some buildup of some nasty stuff on the battery here. But if I zoom in down here, I was up here looking for vacuum leaks or anything of that sort. Stop doing that. And I noticed that the EGR is loose and the gasket is blown out. Now technically my EGR is not hooked to the actual exhaust down there, so I mean it's not a huge deal, but kind of is. So if it's leaking intake right there, it's going to cause a throttle issue. So guess we'll have to get that figured out. But I did put that filter back in, even though it is disgusting. But it's like 3 in the morning right now, and no stores are open, so I cannot go get a filter. So we're going to clean these up, and I'm going to tighten up the EGR, and then after that I'm going to try and fix the oil leak on the oil pressure sending unit. And then after that, we can work on that exhaust. So I know that the title of this video is going to be more, it's going to say something about the exhaust, because obviously I know what I'm going to put. But I'm obviously doing more than just the exhaust in this video, but hopefully you guys like it. Alright, so I'm back, and don't mind the noise in the background, I'm sorry about that. But I got it all mounted up there. And I had to add a washer to this bolt right here because they used a different bolt and it wasn't the correct size, like lengthwise. And so in order to get it to actually clamp down on the EGR, I had to put a washer on there. And as you can see, I got my RTV on there to seal the EGR up. I got the plug back in and the vacuum line put back on. Now, the reason I didn't record me putting like it all back together is because I had the camera up here and it fell over and it scared me, and I went to go reach for the camera and hit my elbow on this, and I had a brief second where I was like I was in a lot of pain. So I at that point I was like, okay, camera goes bye-bye for a little bit. But now I'm gonna work on that battery and see if I can get those terminals cleaned up. So got rid of this junk gasket. But yeah, I'm gonna try and clean those up, and then I'm gonna test the resistance on the cables with my multimeter and see about how much resistance we have in the whole system. So got both these all cleaned up, and then I went ahead and sprayed them with some battery coater stuff just to kind of help. But also I covered the starter solenoid, which should help. Now I'm going to try and mess with the oil pressure sending unit down there. You guys aren't going to be able to see it, but I do have an aftermarket oil gauge, which I have running right there. That's also on the oil pressure sensor sending unit, but had to run an aftermarket gauge because the factory gauges in these do not read right anyway. So there's that. So far, I'm not seeing any issues that are just like standing out to me. I'm sure I can find some if I really dig, but at the moment, everything is looking fine. So, let me crawl underneath the truck and see what I can do for and yes, I know my steering box is leaking, but I don't know how many of these actually don't have leaking steering boxes. Okay, so there's my actual... You guys aren't going to be able to see that. It's not even going to focus on it. Anyway, oil pressure sending unit is up there. Oh, I can make this brighter. Okay, hold on a second. It's just not wanting to focus on it. Sorry guys, new camera problems. Let's try this. There. Okay, so right there is the oil pressure sensor. It's leaking from some part over there, so I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. Alright, so surprisingly I'm not too dirty, other than my clothing. But here's the white pipe. I went ahead and skipped without showing you guys and just went ahead and took it out. I did have this out a few weeks ago, and I was trying to fix the exhaust leak then, and it had this whole thing was coming off, so I tried welding it, and it didn't end up working. It actually made my exhaust leak worse, which I was kind of upset about. And well, when I tried welding it, it kind of just blew bigger holes, and then I just ended up with globs like this one. So it just kind of failed terribly. So it didn't ever end up sealing right, but it also had an exhaust leak here, and it had an exhaust leak here, here, and here, and I believe one here and here, and there was one here. This side wasn't leaking, and then that's where my exhaust has been ending, just right there. The old owner tried doing some weird funky stuff and welding and with the insulated pipe instead of the pipe that's inside of here, and then stuck a 2-inch pipe with a cherry bomb inside of it and didn't even weld it or anything, and just let it dangle in there. And that's how he was driving it. So there's a white pipe. Nice new Mustang X pipe. Heck yeah. This is the driver's side. Factory manifold. And it's a good thing. So with that Mustang X pipe, the holes that go to the headers are bigger than the factory holes here. So I have to put headers on. But it's a good thing I'm replacing these, because right there, which of course is not going to focus now, there we go. Right there is a crack. There's also a crack there. And then starting to crack there. Then on this side, crack, crack, crack. And then there's a crack right here starting. So yeah, these were about to be junk. Anyway, passenger side also has some cracks. Okay, so I'm just gonna run headers here instead of manifolds, because that's what's gonna work with the X pipe from the Mustang. Plus they were cracking anyway, so they were gonna need work anyway. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I kinda just skipped videoing that because getting down in there was a pain, and this side was easier, but still a pain. So yeah, but the noise you might hear in the background is rain hitting the metal roof and siding, so it's always fun.